Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this moment meets you. I see you and thank you for being here. I came to check in, see how everyone's doing. It was a big momentum in Ottawa yesterday, and I want to come show my gratitude and appreciation. It is an honor to be living in a city that is standing up and being peaceful and showing so many that have been unseen that we see you. You see, oppression is prolonged cruelty towards another, using authority and control. And what happens in oppression is that most do not want to believe that it's happening. So they turn their heads in ignorance of not wanting to see. What was demonstrated yesterday is that many are willing to see what is occurring, and no longer will they be a part of the oppression. Imagine just having a statement that Black Lives Matter. Simple. Yet it gets negated with all kinds of different narratives to come and look for the attention or try to not see the atrocities, the violence, the abuse that has been occurring for generations and generations. Imagine when you finally use your voice to call out the ways that you have been victimized and being told, no, that's not happening. It's all in your head. That disconnects somebody from their identity with existence and thinking that they value, that they're of value or that they matter or they're worthy. That starts to build a real self-harm and anger within them. Those that are standing up, protesting, showing up, willing to look at their own ignorance, the voice you are showing is, I believe you. I believe your story. I believe you. And that is a powerful thing in healing when somebody has been victimized. They can start to disarmor themselves in that survival mode and allow the healing to commence. So all those protesting, all those speaking up, you're holding the gap for those to cross over so they can heal. You're allowing their anger, their fear to transcend into the sadness and compassion so that we can come back into unity. If you've ever been victimized, if you've ever been assaulted, abused, and you called out what happened to you and were told, I don't believe you, you can understand the deep pain that starts to create and the malignancy that starts to occur within. Recognize that by standing up and saying, I'm willing to listen to your story, I'm willing to hear you, is significant power for somebody that has been oppressed and hiding in their victimhood because nobody wants to listen to them or believe them. And we have to look at our own ignorance of not wanting to see that another human can be cruel to another human. And why? Because if one human can do it, that means we all have the capability of doing it. And we all do it in different ways that we just don't want to even see about ourselves. So if the statement of Black Lives Matter offends you, then that means there's something within you that is triggered. Perhaps maybe you said something and somebody didn't want to believe you. Perhaps you've seen something and you never took action. Perhaps you understand that some of your privileges, entitlements will now be disrupted, and you don't want to let go of your comfort. It's all, the power is all in you. I would really challenge you that if this simple statement of Black Lives Matter offends you, look at that offense. It is something that is personal towards yourself. I'll bring it into a different perspective. We're all part of the human body. Yet if one of the organs was going offline, you would put all the attention on that organ because you know if that organ doesn't survive, the rest of the body will perish. This is no different. For generations and generations and generations, there has been a race, a color that has been made to feel that they do not exist. They are outside the human body, outside the existence. I ask you to keep rising. The uprising is that we are willing to see our ignorance. We are willing to come back into unity. We are willing to come back to embrace our diversity. It's not about not seeing color. I want a colorful world. It's about not putting definition to that color and thinking that you're better or less than it. It's about wanting to be curious of what is your experience. Let me learn from it. Let me thrive in it. And let me share my experience, and possibly you have an ingredient and I have an ingredient, and we can put them together and create something new. This isn't about not seeing color. This is a colorful world. It's about seeing the ignorance of what you've done to create separation in that color. So yes, right now, all Black Lives Matter, because there's organs in the body that need assistance, and they've needed assistance for a very long time. By all having all these peaceful protests, for voices to be heard, for people to be seen, the anger is now being able to come down into sadness and come down into compassion. And that is a significant step in healing. By being in these protests, by calling out, by having these uncomfortable conversations, you are showing people, I believe your story. And even as difficult as it will be to think that there are people or things or powers like this out in this world, I'm willing to listen in that discomfort and not turn away. We need to sit in the discomfort of seeing the atrocities that occur, yet not be stuck there, to go beyond and recognize love does say no, not on our watch. And we will protect, and we will also hold space for those that need healing in their malignancy of thoughts. Our brothers and sisters need us. Keep standing, keep rising, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for those that have been demonstrating, those that have been standing locked arm in arm, showing others that we are here to protect you, that you matter. We're listening now. We're here. And more will rise, and this world will be transformed. It takes all of us, and that requires all of us to look within. As uncomfortable and as discomforting as it is, we need to sit with the discomfort. So if you become offended, recognize There's something within you you need to look at. Yes, there's something out there that is wrong, that needs to be stopped. Yet also look within you. If anger's sparking, if a sadness is occurring, sit with that to see what it is possibly that you need restoration with, what you need healing with. We are all hurting. We are all processing all of this, and some of us have the strength to keep walking, and some of us no longer have the strength and need to sit and recover. And that's why so many have to stand up in their energy and power to show that we will barricade and protect you so that you can heal. You can take the time to recover. There is a lot of trauma. There is a tsunami of trauma awakening. And what I know to be true is trauma's, it's messy. It's misunderstood. It's an energy that's been suppressed for so long. And when you have to come back into connection with, I exist, I matter, you mean I'm valued? It takes time to come back into that immense power. Because they just don't think they have entitlement to that identity. And that takes us to stand and listen and not change the narrative of people's stories. We have to listen and not change the narrative. Allow people just to be seen so they can take a breath and most of all, exhale. So thank you, Ottawa. Thank you, America, and all the states that people are walking in peaceful action in the world. Thank you. And what is needed the most is those with the entitlement and privileges to rise up and use that power to now serve and protect. We're demanding a system of that, yet I would ask you as a civilian to serve and protect. We can all make a difference. We all are the change. Go within. Keep standing in the gap so others can cross over in the healing and we can be whole. I thank you. I send you love and encouragement. You allowed me to have a space of healing from my oppression through my life. And I understand the mighty power of that. And I wanted to put a voice so other people can understand what they have done and what this energy is on all perspectives. Those that marched, that probably might have some stories they've never told, they were allowed to be a witness in their own story to see that I'm validated even if nobody wants to believe me. I matter, and I'm seen, and I will protect myself. And I'll no longer drink the poison of needing revenge and vengeance. I will stand in the compassion and use peaceful action to be what it is that I want to demonstrate. No longer do I want the pain and harm to be projected, to be used as self-harm towards myself. I will use my suffering as a gift for others to be in love with themselves and to share that love with others. Thank you. I send you a tremendous amount of love and encouragement and healing. Be gentle, be kind, and most of all, celebrate that you are alive. Tell another person, I see you, you matter.